Well, good evening, everybody. I hope you're all doing okay. Fantastically well. Might be a little bit of a stretch. We're waiting for Mr. David Brown, who's just getting some things in order. How are we doing, everybody? We're doing fantastically well this evening. I honestly want to know what you guys are thinking right now going into the final hour of what's going on now when it comes to the transfer business. It's interesting, isn't it? It really is interesting. Guys, if you want some new bits as well, you can head on over to the merchandise section, link in the description below. We've dropped a massive new sort of like pile of merch if you guys are interested in it, including Mr. Brown with the old debrief stuff. But you can do so if you're interested in that sort of thing. If you're not, then you're not, no problem. But we've got other bits to suit your needs. I sort of called it around about 6 hours ago that it was going to be Leeds United's end to the campaign, and we'd be saying something to the likes of Schmidt. We've got one more coming in, and it was Schmidt. I was, in all fairness, got a bit of a tip off of potentially it could have been Elias Share, but yeah, no, that kind of ran its course a little bit. So yeah, we're going to be dissecting everything that's gone on today. We're going to be speaking to Brownie, of course, about his opinions on where Leeds are now. Are we in a better place? Are we in a worse place than what we were last season? Do you think we should have done more? Do you think we've left it too late? And honestly, one Leeds, the chat as well. You guys, please get your comments in the section below. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear exactly if you think it's good enough. Do you think it's good enough what's been going on? Do you think it's too good? A bit too good. And obviously Hull City tomorrow, so we're all going to be a little bit sprightly. We're expecting Isaac Schmidt to sign tonight. His agent has already posted that he's at Ellen Road. A little bit of a story in and around the ground and stuff, which is, it's good. It's fullback cover. Is it enough for you? We sort of did a little bit of a discussion on it around about 6 hours ago now. Since then, I have got Oasis tickets. Can you believe it? One of the 2.3% who've managed to get them. And since then, you know, I've gone for a beer. I have to say, I've gone for a beer, everybody. Gone for the pale ale, 4.8%. You know, kept it a little bit below 5 because we don't want to be a little bit wavy for these streams. But yeah, shout out to all of you guys in the building, and shout out to everybody who's what I would like to say before we get into it. And it is a bit of a debrief of all debriefs. You know, we've got an hour left till the deadline day. And I want to say to all of you a massive thank you. This has been one of my best months ever on YouTube. I decided to go full time with One Leeds in November. From a personal perspective, I was laid off, well, maybe redundant from a company of which, you know, let's not delve into that. But I met some cracking contacts along the way, which has helped me on the channel and will help me going on, you know, further down the line. And I'd just like to, you know, that company previously, Reach, obviously were excellent for me, and you know, it's made me meet fantastic people in this Leeds community as well, and contacts outside which have helped with this content, of course. But I'd just like to thank you all for your support. You know, we've had nearly 1 million views in a month. We've had over 2,000 subscribers in a month. We've had, you know, over 200,000 views, 200,000, I think it's in watch time. So thank you so much for all of your support and getting into the season as well. We're trying to up the content when it comes to One Leeds as well. We've got websites coming. We've got more stuff when it comes to the Patreon. So I'm really trying to invest in the channel. We've got something in November, which I think you guys will really, really, really enjoy in terms of a bit of travel. So, you know, I just want to break the boundaries, break the mold a little bit when it comes to this content. I don't just want to be sat here talking to you guys. I know you enjoy it, but I want to put that effort in. And yeah, we've got some sponsors on board in the Leeds community as well, which is massive help. So it's all down to you guys. You've been fantastic. We've got mad numbers on the Patreon now. So yeah, shout out to all of you. You've been brilliant this month. But get your thoughts in the comment section below as always. And I appreciate that. Really, really do. You've all been brilliant. I've stumbled across Con and M. Hope as well, mate. Not Another Leeds podcast. Go subscribe to them, guys. Absolutely top guys. Danny and the crew down there. They got me on around about a month ago. And yeah, really nice lads. Currently, the window is a 6 out of 10. If we get a 10, then it jumps to an 8 out of 10, possibly even 9 out of 10, depending on who we get. I don't disagree with you, Jay, mate. I think you're spot on. Evening, Connor. Bit disappointed at the moment. Needed to strike a back up and a 10. Yeah, man. I think I align with you. Like, it's Tanaka's probably the most exciting for me. I know a lot of people have said Ramazani, and I love Ramazani. I love that sign. I think that's such a close replacement for Somerville. There's an argument he could even reach bigger heights than Somerville. Massive fan of that. I think Tanaka is an exciting one. I do. I think I'm really excited. We spoke about it a little bit earlier on when it came to when we're on the 5 p.m. show. Like, it's a really good addition to Tanaka, and he should be worth a lot more money. You know, he should be worth a lot more money, and that signing in particular has got me going. Bogle's got me going. Road on a permanent. You know, good stuff. Solomon, if he can stay fit, fantastic, and absolutely buzzing to be joined by my good pal to end the transfer window. I've got Generation Leeds on here, Dave, so we'll move that promptly on. And look at this, my fella. Look at this. I'm going to be sending. This. Do you know what this is? Do you know what this is? It's what all you want. It's the heads, right, of all of us. We got Oscar, we got Dave, we got Dave. Me. Listen. Spam it in the comments. Spam it in the comments how much you want this blonde bombshell next to me to be back on the debrief, because we all want it. We all want it. Get him back on the debrief. He's a busy man. But Mr. David Brown, how we doing, pal? All good?
Yeah, I'm all right. I could do with another signing or two, but I'm all right.
It feels like that, mate, doesn't it? It feels like it's been a big month, mate. I think we were speaking about it yesterday, weren't we? About how it's we're knackered, Brownie, aren't we? We're knackered from what's gone on, and it just feels like it's we were saying at the start, weren't we, about what we need, and then midway through we're thinking, do you know what? Bogle's been signed, and then maybe we're thinking, do you know what? There's going to be a couple more after this, and then it went a month, and then we've got to the back end of the window, and you're thinking it's the Leeds United way, innit, Dave? It's you always just feel that there's that one signing that we could have got done, maybe that would have just made it absolutely perfect, but it wouldn't be Leeds, mate, if we'd have got it perfect on deadline day.
It's never easy or straightforward, is it? I mean, we've got 56 minutes left, and we're still trying to get the fullback through.
Well, then let me just put on here what Brownie sent me about an hour ago. What did he say? Screw it, monetization. Are we still doing later, seeing as though we've done fuck all business? Where the fuck is Schmidt?
I mean, this is what I mean. Like,
Brownie, no, the club does it like us, do they? It's unbelievable.
Let's get a deadline day show done for a signing we did at 10:30 this morning or whatever stupid it was.
10 yesterday, mate. I was told it was Schmidt. It was signed, sealed, and delivered. It was going to be an easy one, and yeah, mate, I can't believe it. I know he scored a worldie last night, didn't he? But a backup fullback looks like it's going to be coming in at. Do you know what? We've seen it previously, haven't we? It'll be coming in post 11. We'll just got the documents in, and it'll be coming post 11 o'clock, and we'll just get it in.
It'll be one of them Amazon documentaries in a couple of years' time where he's and his agent are sat around a table and it hasn't gone through. St. Gallen have not picked up the phone or something. Where I feel like I've seen this film before happening.
How are you feeling anyway? Because we were chatting before, weren't we? And we spoke yesterday about it, but obviously it feels like it's even another whirlwind today, doesn't it, Dev? But how are you feeling today, mate? What's been the overriding take for you? Is it been good enough? Is it maybe not been good enough? Have maybe other teams done a bit more business that you'd have liked us to have done? Where are you sat with it really when it comes to Leeds? Is Leeds' summer transfer window, which has gone on for 3 months now?
I feel we're weaker than last season, but I feel the league's weaker than last season. I'm trying to put as a positive slant on it as possible. Listen, if you strip down Leeds' 11 game by game, nobody should beat us.
Facts.
But you know how the season goes. You needed that squad depth, which is why we wanted a little bit more of a busier day. If you actually look at players gone out and players come in isolated incidents, yes, we have replaced. We have. So you've got Bogle coming in for Gray, who was at right back.
Yeah.
Rockwell's come in. Ayo. Yeah, him. He's come in.
Sure, mate. Apparently, probably easy for you, mate, when you're coming on these show in the future. Apparently, you pronounce his first name as Ow. So there you go. Ow. So you need to say, mate, when you say "ow" in the future, I'll be like, bang, I know what you're
Takes me
talking
back to being a kid when you go, how?
Aye.
So yeah, them two have come in and they're going to look to have replaced Kamara. Ramazani's come in on one of the sides.
Yep.
You've got Solomon coming in, so there's your Rutter and Somerville replacements. But it is just 1-for-1 really across the pitch. Verba looks like he's staying in the building, and Aronson, two players we didn't have last season. So yeah, they're not new signings, but they're more bodies that we didn't have. And Pascal Strike was virtually null and void for the most of the second part of the season. So it's not like we're any less bodies than last year. I know we've not got Shackleton and Cooper and one or two others that left, but
it's a weird one, isn't it? It's a weird feeling, man. It's weird.
It feels underwhelming.
Yeah.
In the same respect, it still feels like we've got enough to go up.
Do you reckon if we'd have got one more, you'd have been buzzing?
I think if the Gus Hamer deal gets done or the Salal, whatever he was called, got done, I just think it. But we said yesterday on the show, where'd you play them all?
Yeah.
I feel like when you actually think about it, we have got an embarrassment of players, and the one thing that sticks out in my mind is there's still no backup for Joseph if something was to happen to him. We've still not got an out-and-out 9, which was what I wanted mostly. But
he's still in that.
He is, mate. But like I said a few weeks ago, I think we had bigger holes to fill. I genuinely do think we were one signing away from
perfection.
We are favourites for the league, but I think we were one signing away from saying, right, who's coming up with us?
Yeah, I agree.
And I feel like we're just doing it the whole Leeds United way, a bit of a gamble.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't get why. We've took in nearly 100. Well, we have. We've took in 150 million.
But has it always felt the same? I feel like with us, it's never been different. I feel like we're talking a year ago and it's always been the same.
When I was growing up, mate, we were spending money like Monopoly.
Well, yeah. And here I am, Peter Ridsdale.
Yeah. But yeah, it just feels like maybe we're just one, and it might be us being greedy and that, but it just felt like we were just maybe one a little bit short. But you never know. Solomon and Ramazani could set the world alight. It's just because I think as well, the players we've signed are a bit unknown quantities to us.
Yeah.
Like, let's not beat around the bush. None of us really know how he's going to be like. And Ramazani, he's come in, great pedigree. He's got a lot of people saying he's going to get us on the edge of the seats, but we don't really know.
True.
And Somerville and Rutter were tried and tested. We'd seen it. They'd done it. We knew what they were capable of. So I think there's an element of that. There's an element of the unknown that's in my mind. I'm not.
From someone who's played at the highest level, obviously Forest, Bradford, and Leeds. If I'm to say to you right now, when you look at a 4-2-3-1 system, Brownie, and if you to look at the front three maybe and what we've got in reserve, I think we've got a lot of dribblers. I mentioned this on the channel earlier, mate. I think what we've brought in is Solomon, who's a bit of a jinker, good balance, left or right, and then you look at Ramazani, something really similar, where he's a little bit like a Somerville, dynamic, in and out sort of thing. Then you look at a James, beat a man, dynamic, all this sort of stuff. Aronson, a bit of energy, a bit of endeavour. Do you know what I'm worried about, Brownie? Only thing is, mate, and we're relying on Nonto for this, and Nonto wasn't in this position at all last year because Leeds valued Rutter as that cam, obviously, and you've weakened significantly with him going. But I think, do you know what it is, Brownie? There's a lot of dribblers there, mate, and you've got a dribbler who's in a number 10 now. I'm a little bit worried that we don't have that. Like we've had before, Samu Saiz, Pablo Hernandez, Gigi Rutter. We don't have that anymore. That's my only worry, mate. That breaking down these low blocks, how are we going to do that now with just that missing spark in that midfield?
It's I think.
Does that make sense to you? Does that make
It
sense
does.
to you? Or am I
No,
being
yeah,
a
it
bit?
does. It does. I think the one you mentioned out of them is Aronson. He's probably the only slight variation to your out and out wingers, where he could be the one that
Yeah.
drifts inside, and like he scored the goal at Sheffield Wednesday, and he came on against Portsmouth and got into the pocket and scored, and should have had another one. We spent 25 million on this kid. Like, I know us fans, we didn't like how he left us last year in the lurch, but are we undervaluing him in the Championship?
That's a good point.
Are we undervaluing what he can bring
Mm.
to the table? But I look at the squad, and I'm not sure that I would. I'm still not sure I would swap our squad with anybody else in the Championship.
Okay then.
Still.
Okay then. And I've not spoken about this on any of the shows today. We've promised that we were going to speak about it right at the end. It's up to the gaffer now, innit? It's up to the gaffer. It's up to the players, of course it is. But the man in charge now, he's been given a hell of a lot, pending us getting Schmidt in, which I think this is going to happen, obviously, even if it's post-deadline, which is classic Leeds. Brownie, he has got more than enough, Annie, at this level to get this side up.
I mean, when you see what Burnley have lost in the last 3 days, really, I mean, I know we've lost Aaron's, Rutter and Somerville and Grit, but at least it was done early on in the window and we could kind of do something about it. I mean, Burnley, they've had a shocker in the last few days.
Yeah, tough one, haven't they?
Sheffield United, they'll be there or there, but I mean, Luton, I'm not sure what the full-time score. I think they've lost again.
They have 2-1.
Yeah, so I genuinely wouldn't swap our squad with anything, which then you rightly point to the manager and say he's got to take us up. Last year was a failure not going up, but it was a bit of a freak. 3 teams finishing in the 90 points. There's no real standout team. The book is favourites for a reason, because we've got the strongest squad. So when you say that out loud, that we've got the strongest squad, is it just greed that we want another player in? Is it because we've just lost that many goal contributions to our team at Somerville, Rutter, that we're panicking a little bit because we don't know what's coming in? Solomon's got his injury doubts, and we're really unsure. We've got Matteo Joseph up top, who's a young kid. Is it just an element of doubt in our minds? You never know. We could be sat talking in 2 weeks. We've seen Solomon play. We've seen Ramazani play. We think, oh, what were we all worried about?
Do you know what I will say, mate? We have to talk about it a little bit, because we're talking about the window. I think, when Old's team reported that the 49ers were instrumental in the signing of Rutter, and then they almost backed away from that Rutter signing, and it was very much, it was the old regime. I think that's probably one of the things in this transfer window that have irked me a little bit. Probably another thing is Archie Gray. And Brownie, you said it to me on a text message. The move improves the club's chance to compete for automatic promotion next season by increasing our ability to build a competitive squad within the least financial restraints. I think those two. Those two, and maybe the comments afterwards have been a little bit problematic, I'd guess. Maybe this window, maybe.
And I think that's why a lot of us are a bit, why wasn't there any more? Because you're giving us all these messages about selling these players will help us build for promotion. And there's no 2 ways around it. We've brought in 150 million and spent about 25. Maybe a bit more. I forget about Rodan.
I think you're right. 25, about 25.
So you think, well, were we in that dire straits financially? Where's the other 125 million gone? I don't know, but it just it's a weird one, because we're wanting more, but in the same respect, we should have enough. But it's leaving it to that element of should have enough. I mean, the Hamer one for me, not only would it have strengthened us, it'd have absolutely wiped Sheffield United out.
I think it would have done. I think you're right.
And for me, it might be a little bit more money, but you're taking out a competitor and strengthening us. For me, that was a no-brainer. Schmidt tweeted by the club. Looks like we've got it done.
Just been announced, it looks like. Jay says, loving the content, pal. You deserve to start reaping the rewards for the work. I'm sending this $5 to Brownie, by the way. I catch you at Ellen Road. I'll give you a beer. Liam Moore, top man. Cheers for that, mate. Joe said, very meta window. January, a much tougher window. Do you see he's doing something in January, Brownie? It's an interesting conversation, isn't it? Do you think we're leaving a little bit for January, and is that a bit naive potentially by the club?
Well, we are notoriously a club that does do business in January. The famous John Kevin Augustine, that was a good one. And didn't Rutter come in January as well? I'm sure he did. So we have done a bit of business in January, but there's definitely got to be a bit there. We've said so many times we have to go up this season, so it could be see how we get on. I mean, tomorrow we can go 7 points above Luton.
Yeah,
we were talking about the gaps that we could get left behind before the Sheffield Wednesday game. We can do the same thing to a team that came down last season.
I thought they'd have won it, and they still might, but I thought they'd have won it. Honestly,
we're having a bit of not a meltdown. That's a bit too far, but we're a little bit doom and gloom about the window. I'm telling you now, if we had 1 point from 4 games, they'd be hell on.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, you're right.
Which is where they face themselves.
Well, Carlos has said, I'm very hopeful, but even if we don't make any more signings, I'm more confident we are good enough to go up, and I firmly believe we will get bigger and better. We are a championship club. We're poignant at the end there, Carlos. We are a championship club. We need to remember this.
It's true. We are in the championship, but I just feel that Leeds United in the championship can flex the muscles, especially when you're bringing in the. I don't know the finances. Maybe we were in a bit of a mess, and that's why. The thing that's confusing me is if we've gone in with 13 for Hamer, if that's what it was, but then we can't do the what's he called? Salah,
yeah.
We can't do him for 9. It don't make sense.
Well, he apparently he had a year left on his contract, and you wonder if that's played into it. But then you're getting a player, aren't you, Brownie, out of that contract, of which is going to massive. How I've saw it this year, mate, and I don't know if you're the same, but you why would you not risk it for the rewards that you're going to get? Because we know this club is top 2 bound. We have to be top 2 because we can't be playoff. We know that. So if you're top 2 bound, why would you not risk it? Just go for it and let's see what happens, because we're more than good enough.
For the sake of a couple of million, get that body in that.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking, we should be top 2, we are going to be top 2. Do you know what I mean? Maybe.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Maybe fat, but the other thing that's niggling my mind is through the week in the press conference, he said that he'd told the club that he wanted replacements from January for Somerville and Rutter.
He said 3, didn't he? He said 3.
Yeah, he did. And we're saying that we've replaced them with Solomon. We haven't really, because Solomon's on loan. So come the end of the season, Solomon goes back. So we haven't replaced them. We've just got another body for the season. I don't know. Could they do something in the next 39 minutes that nobody knows about?
CJJ says, props on the success. Fella, can't wait to get this window over and doubt some games. Transfer window, always the worst bit. Down to DF to get us at least 9 points clear by January. Brownie, I think CJJ is bang on, because this guy has got, Brownie, I won't hear it from you. I won't hear it from Joe Wainman. I won't hear it from my old man. I'm not hearing it anymore. I'm not having Daniel Farker excuses, Brownie. I'm holding you to account. I'm holding you all to account. None of that shite anymore. This guy's been held over a stove if he doesn't get results. I'm not having it, mate. If we're coming up against Hull City and he can't be beating that Hull City side, I'm not having it, mate. We're more than good enough.
Right, so then and this is what I mean. If we're more than good enough, why are we worried about another signing? And that's where my head's at. Yeah. I firmly believe that there is nobody in this championship squad who I would change it with.
Yep.
But I would have probably said the same.
It's that next one that's the guarantee, though, and it just feels like that next sign is the guarantee that we're going up. Because all of the sides that think, Brownie, they'd all think, even if you Sheffield, if you're Luton, if you're Burnley, worst case scenario, you get in the playoffs and you can win it. We can't do that.
No,
So we
but-
have to get top 2.
I mean, I've got to be fair. I wouldn't have swapped our squad with Ipswich last season, and they went up. So
No, facts. Yeah, facts. Facts.
But yeah, if you look at you look at the Championship now, and what is it? Sunderland and Watford, top 2.
Yeah, they're looking all right. Sunderland, aren't they? They're looking good.
They are, mate, but they've just lost Jack Clark, and that's going to take its toll.
Yeah.
I genuinely, game for game, like we're saying about Hull tomorrow, we should be beating Hull
100%.
And then you've got 8 points from 12 games, which we said was a tough start, by the way.
Is there pressure on him then? Is there pressure on him, Farker?
I think there's huge pressure on him. If we don't go up, I don't think he's our manager next season.
No.
Genuinely.
Do you think worst case scenario, like, you're even looking through this, if he's not to pick up? I think the pressure's on him now, Brownie. I think if he's not to pick up a decent amount of points in his next 4 or 5 games, I think there's people looking at him, to be honest.
I mean, like I said, tomorrow we can go to 8 points, and like someone just said, Watford are playing Sheffield United. We could be a point off the top 2, and we've not really got going yet.
Yeah.
McGrath reported some Korean player rejected. Yeah, was that the lad from Birmingham?
I think it was,
apparently a few Championship clubs had gone in for.
Yeah.
I weirdly think something else could happen.
Do you know what I'd do? I'd lump it all on Red and go get Elias Share. He was close to signing for us last summer. Just go and spend 10 bags on Elias Share. And do you know what it is, Brownie? It's promotion. It's promotion going and getting him. It is. It's facts. He proves it year in, year out in the Championship. In a crap side, go spend the money on him. Why not?
I'm surprised we haven't brought a striker in. I think we've got more than enough of them little 10 wingers. People keep saying we need 10s, but who are you not playing? And I get people go back to, we haven't got a Pablo Hernandez type. We're never going to have a Pablo Hernandez type of, again, he was a one-off.
Yeah. He
was a freak. If you actually go through position for position in our squad, we've got more than enough. So I do think it comes back to the manager that he has to take us up, because I know Burnley have brought a couple in, but they must be underwhelmed with what they've lost, with what they've replaced with. Similar to ourselves, possibly. Yeah. We've lost 2 key players. Sheffield United,
I think they've had a good window, I think they've had a good window.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I can't believe you don't. Do you not think?
Let me get
championship wise. I'm not talking about Prem. Championship team, mate.
Let me get Sheffield United up.
Go on,
because I think they've lost a lot as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the Kiefer Moore deal was good. The Callum O'Hare deal was good.
Keeping Alderhamer, Sousa.
But they lost Oselu to Newcastle, didn't they?
Yeah.
McBurney left. Let's look at what's gone.
I think he'd have been guaranteed 20 goals.
So they've lost Cameron Archer, Oselu, Bogle, Traore, McBurney, Baldock, Lowe, Norwood, Osborne. Trusty's going to Celtic. Egan. We can't see Chris Basham score at Ellen Road. He's gone. Harry Suter. Bretherton Diaz ended up going back. What have they brought in? Harrison Burrows, Kiefer Moore, Callum O'Hare, Shackleton, Raksaki from Palace. I mean, it's not amazing. If one of their main signings is Jamie Shackleton,
I don't think he'll be starting though. I don't think he will.
I'm not convinced with them. I'm really not.
Really?
I might eat my words at the end of the season, but I'm really not convinced with them. I think it's Leeds Burnley to throw away, to be honest. We said we'd evaluate things at the end of the transfer window, and
Here we go. One for you, Brownie. The most obvious question, I think, on planet Earth, Matt lad.
I'd have been looking at keepers from the last 6 transfer windows, but for this particular one, I think with what went out, we had bigger problems to rectify than our keeper. Don't get me wrong, I'd have loved a keeper to come in, but there's no chance of that.
I put that up for a reason.
What?
Been nice though, would it?
I'll message him now and find out, but I'm not having that.
Oh, dearie me. I'll tell you what then, mate. What are you looking at? What are you looking at tomorrow? Then I'll fire my starting 11 to you. I'm probably looking at Melier, Net, Bogle, Roden, Strauch, Firpo, midfield. I know you're not going to like this potentially, but I'm taking Rothwell all day over Gruev, Rothwell and Ampadu, and then I'm going front 4. See, this is the tough one, Brownie. It's when James is out. You're looking at right hand side because we haven't got that many right profiles now. I don't know if Solomon's going to be fit for this. It don't look like he is. You're looking at probably Aronson on that right, maybe Nonso in the centre, Ramazani on the left, and Joseph up top.
Yeah. And then that leaves out Solomon, Howe. I'm gonna love doing that. Oh yeah, Howe. Does Solomon not play?
Potentially, he could do. Yeah, I think he said in his presser that he might be a little bit off, but I'm not sure.
Sod it. Let's just play Rodon and Ampadu at the back, and then just chuck everyone else.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
But when you're saying that team out there like that, that's a team that should be wiping away Hull City.
It is. It is indeed, mate. Yeah, and Burnley.
Looks the most popular. Can you not play Aaron? You've got Solomon, you've got Nonto, you've got Ramazani, you've got Aronson, Joseph, Pirot. It's an embarrassment of forwards in the Championship.
Where do you think Pirot's head's at?
It'll all depend on the conversation with Fark, whether the swap deal was true.
Might have a lot to do, mightn't they? They might have a lot to do there.
If it was, I can't see any truth in it because I think Sheffield United have been stupid to reject that because the deal sounded barbaric. What was it, 10 million plus Pirot?
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine how they'd have rejected that, but it's a weird one. It is a weird one.
Ryan says,
Ryan, I'm not happy with the window. I think it's been very underwhelming. But
trying to find positives,
I said right at the start of the show, I don't know if Ryan heard that we're weaker than last year. But the only positive I think the Championship is as well. And body-wise, I don't think we say the small squad, I don't think it was massive last year.
Like, what would you give it? What would you give it out of 10 this window? I said I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I was thinking 5 or 6. I mean,
it's hard the bodies, right now. We have to be honest. You know, you've seen Cooper from Plymouth, one of the top keepers in the division, Brownie. Me and you have been badgering on about this for 3 years. Going to Sheffield United for £2 million. Your Ilan Mele still on the books at Uzu. You're probably thinking to yourself, I mean, surely an agent can fetch at least £8 million for him. I just think you could replace the goalkeeper there. A body up top, definitely, like you've quite rightly said, to help Joseph, even though if that's in the loan capacity from the Premier League. You know, there's a lot of talk about Jebison earlier on as well. And then I think I think a number 10 had to come in. So for me, I wouldn't even. I'm thinking about it now. I'd have probably gone for a 6. I mean, even if you've been really, really picky, you could say, is De Bayo a good enough right centre back to be coming in for Rodon if he's absent? You know, because that could be a conversation back then. But at least you can have Ampadu back there, I guess.
I mean, Verba's not gone anywhere at all. Yeah. So The one thing I'm not saying it's a like for like. I'm really not. Before it gets clipped up or I get hammered. The one thing I disliked with Rutter all season, and I've said it many a times, with his finishing, it let him down time and time again. And he actually only came out with 8 goals.
Yeah.
Aronson's got 2 in 3. And I know that sounds mental. But he's already got.
I don't know if I can let you get away with that.
He's already got a quarter of Rutter's goals from last season. And I'm not saying that it is a like for like or anything like that. I'm saying we needed more goals spread across the team. We said that we couldn't just rely on Somerville FC or Rutter FC. And we said we'd have to find a different way to spread them out. And if Joseph chips in with some, Aronson looks like he can, Nonto can. In a couple of weeks, we might have seen Solomon and Ramazani and thought, wow. Wow. Because remember when Sinisterra came, I didn't really know too much about him. Saw him in the League Cup for the first game and thought, very good. Obviously, we were made out of biscuits, so we didn't see much of him. But we don't know what these players are going to be like. And I think that's the element of doubt in people's minds.
Yeah. Graham's saying it's the final bit of business. I think I expected it today, to be honest. I don't think I expected anything more. I think I said earlier on it would be 2. 3 would have been.
It is a bit of a disappointment. I think we were all expecting that third one to be done today. I felt like this one was going to get done earlier, and there would have been another one later on. To lose Rutter, who I think was our X factor, which is what I'm not saying Aronson was a replacement for him whatsoever. Rutter was the X factor that we had in the team, and Somerville, to lose them both and bring in players that we're not really sure about, I think that's the concerning part. Positive to keep Nonto. I think he started the season well, but I think everybody, it's a weird one. It's a really weird one. I think everybody's just a little bit, if there was just one more.
I agree.
There was just one more brought in.
But have to roll with it though, mate. We're going to have to roll with it.
We are. I think if I was to say a weakness in our team, I think I would probably say number 9.
Yep.
I think if something happened to Joseph, or Joseph went the next 3 or 4 games without scoring, which I hope he doesn't. I thought he was brilliant at Sheffield Wednesday. But I think that's the only weakness. I think we're covered everywhere now, obviously, with Schmidt coming in. Covers both full-backs. I think we're more than capable at centre-back.
Well, Baseline Bible said, I feel like the video that's gone up with that new signing, Isaac, there's going to be another announcement. Could be wrong, but yeah, I don't think so.
Smith saying it's done.
Yeah, I don't think so, mate. I don't think so. Look, I think me and Brownie are very much on your mindset. That'd be lovely. That'd be. It could have been a lot better, couldn't it, Brownie? They've had 3 months to do it. I guess my gripe with them has been maybe that they've left Tanaka and Schmidt till the last minute when Go on, sorry.
Do you feel they'd have sold Gray if Somerville and Rutter had already gone? I think the timings of them have thrown them a little bit, with the Rutter release clause being done at 5 minutes before it ran out. I genuinely don't think they were expecting Rutter to leave.
I don't think they were. No,
so it'd be interesting to obviously it's hindsight and you never know, but would they have sold Gray off the back of already bringing in 70-80 million? But we're all saying the same thing, so we're all a little bit underwhelmed. Even the people in the comments are underwhelmed.
Yeah, everyone's saying the same thing.
We're all saying that there's no way why we shouldn't go up. It's a really weird and bizarre transfer window.
Is it? Do you think it's because, like, guaranteed, right? The players take Farker to top 2, right? Players take Farker to top 2, but right now, and this might be a bit harsh, but he's got to use even more managerial expertise to get us in that top 2 now, because maybe we don't have that X factor.
Yeah, Yeah, and I think there's an element of, I don't think we got found out, but last season it was very much stop Somerville, stop Rutter, and you kind of
Game on,
stop
innit?
us.
Yep.
Genuinely, that playoff final, Somerville was tripled up, let alone doubled up. And it was just like, right, well, what else have we got? Whereas this season, we've got to find players across the team chipping in with goals and assists and not just rely on vibes. Because
Yeah, I
that's what
agree.
it felt like. It felt like give the ball to Somerville and see what happens. Whereas now there's got to be an element of everybody chipping in. And I don't know if I'm reading too much into it, but there's been a tweet from that Phil Hayes reposted from Nancy Froston saying Smith the latest. Oh, I bet it wrong. Don't matter. I thought he said the latest. I thought he said the latest business of the window, but it says last.
No. Fucking hell. Two very different meanings.
Yeah.
Brownie.
I
Jesus.
saw latest and I thought, wow, go on then. And then I reread it and it says last.
Oh, dearie me, mate. Well, All City tomorrow anyway. You heading down?
Yeah.
Good man. Good man. Score prediction.
I think it'll be a 2-0. I think we should win.
Yeah, see any of the boys starting, the new boys, or I think maybe Ramazani, potentially Solomon.
I think when we spoke about it, I said no.
Jesus, Dan. By the way, Dan, what's going on, Dan? Jesus.
When I said before that I thought it'd be the same team, that was obviously before the news of Dan James not being available. So it's a chance to slot Solomon or Ramazani in.
Yeah. Feels
because
like that, doesn't it?
The alternative would be Pirot and Aronson back out wide, which I don't think he does.
Yeah, I think it's Ramazani, innit? Feels like Ramazani.
Are you expecting a win?
Yeah, I am. 2-1. I think it'll be tighter than we think, but 2-1. I think we'll win tomorrow. For the international break, Brown, it's big, innit? We can get ourselves, as I say, a little bit further up in the table as well, which will be helpful.
Well, yeah, a win tomorrow take us a point off top.
Would point off top, which is silly, isn't it, really, when you think about it?
Obviously, depending on other results, but obviously Watford for one are playing Sheffield United. I've no idea who Burnley, West Brom, Blackburn, and Sunderland have got, but I mean, to be talking about top two already, the win tomorrow makes it a much better start than last year. Last year's start was horrific. I think 8 points from 12, undefeated.
And then you beat Burnley. You know, the first game back, you beat Burnley, and you're talking, aren't you?
If you're going into the international break undefeated on 8 points, I think it's a positive start.
Definitely, mate.
100%.
Definitely.
People are teasing me now. Check Leeds United story. Wow, what is happening?
Yeah, I don't think we'll be doing it. I don't think so. It won't be anything, will it? Why will?
Yeah, just to clarify, Tom Kearney's not coming alone.
No. Bloody hell, Tom. Right, let's leave it there anyway. Brownie, what a monstrous transfer window it has been. Guys, that has been it from the One Leeds fan channel. I couldn't have asked to have ended it with a better person that I do stuff with. Brownie's a top lad. I've known him for years. And listen, we're signing off with this. It's been a pleasure. There's over 4,500 of you in the building on all platforms. Make sure you slap a like. And imagine if we'd have signed someone.
I think it's the hope that kills you. And I think everybody's sort of like, come on, get another one done. But it doesn't look like it's happening.
Doesn't, mate. Doesn't. Jack says lose tomorrow and it'll get toxic. Might do, mate, but let's...
That's life of being Leeds.
It feels like it's either unbelievable or toxic. So, yeah, guys, make sure you slap a like before leaving. Thank you so much for your coverage over this period of time, and we'll be back with the watch along and all that good stuff tomorrow. Brownie, I'll see you soon.
It's felt long, hasn't it, mate? Just before you go, it has felt long this window.
Mate, I'm knackered. I'm absolutely knackered. Thank God I got Oasis tickets. But aside from that, yeah, I managed to get them, mate. Managed to get in the pre-sale ballot. Rihanna got in them. I didn't. I signed up for pre-sale, didn't get them. All the lads I know didn't get them, and then Rihanna for some reason got in. I mean, it's tell you what, Brownie, for 3 tickets, 448 quid, by the way, for 3 tickets, unbelievable. Not in a good way. straight into the savings there. But there we go. Live forever and all that.
I'll be trying in the morning at 9 o'clock like the rest of us idiots.
Good lad. All right, guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you soon. Cheers.